Welcome to the most interesting chart of the week. So, what we're going to start doing on Fridays, I'm going to highlight one chart that I thought was really interesting, something that could give us some clues on potentially what could happen next week. And this is always, again, before we run the systems over at StatsEdge Trading. StatsEdgePro members are going to get tons of different symbols, I'm sure, this week. It's probably going to be 30 plus ideas that they can look at going into next week in order to make swing trades. Of course, it was the end of the month, so they already got their investment ideas. And at the beginning of every morning, you get an email with a whole bunch of day trades that have a statistical proven edge. You can go over to StatsEdgeTrading.com and look at. Now, we are going to just start here with the SPY, but this isn't the chart. We'll always take a quick second to look at the SPY. Not really much to talk about. Huge week last week, huge week this week as we continue to sail into new all-time highs. No reason to get over concerned about bearish about any of that. But what I did want to look at here is this. So this is the dollar index, DXY. So if you don't know, the dollar index is US versus a whole bunch of other currencies, right? So a little bit of the yen, a little bit of Canadian dollar, euro, pound. I think it's mostly euro. But what we're looking at is this massive range that we had when we had those kind of tariff tantrum panics. We fell out of this range. But what's interesting to me is what I have here on the bottom is the Commitment of Traders report. And what this shows is essentially who is long and who is short and at what amount and at what time. And the important part of this, we need to understand that people that are using the dollar to hedge are going to be the red line. And they're commercial traders. And what they're trying to do is hedge different expectancies in order to operate their business. And then you have the green line. These are the speculators, and these are ones who are just taking bets. They don't really have any more information than anyone else. And then the blue line is the small speculators, the little guys. Now, what's interesting is that we have both the little guys and the big guys. So again, we're focusing on the blue and let's zoom right in here. We're looking at the blue and we're looking at the green line. Those are the two that we care about. The red line we just kind of ignore because that's just going to be opposite of the green line here. Showing that as of last week, we have both the small speculators and the large speculators short the dollar and short the dollar pretty big. This candle we'll find out more about on the weekend, but I imagine they probably got more short as it continued lower here. And the reason that's interesting is if we go back and look at the other times in the past and we look at price, when we got both of these guys short, they started to short in this area right here, right before a nice big sustained bounce. Let's keep zooming back. They were both short. Well, the large speculators got short right here before this monster run. They were also both short in this area right here where we were bottoming out, right? So these guys are wrong a lot, especially on the dollar, short in this zone right here, and so on and so forth. So we're seeing a lot of this action in which people are betting against the dollar, and they're betting against the dollar after this massive collapse. So the question we have to ask ourselves is, do we think now is the time to be shorting the dollar, or potentially could this create the scenario of a short squeeze? So in any sort of positive news that would be affecting the dollar positively, now that we know that there's fuel to this fire, we could potentially have an interesting short trade. So I want to kind of just zoom in here, and instead of going and looking at this the commitment traders data, I want to look at the price action. And we've put in this bottoming tail this week. So we've sold off under these lows, under these 97 lows, and we've put in a little bit of a hammer candle. So that, combined with the fact that everybody is betting short on this one, makes this the most interesting chart of the week to me. I want to see if we get a dollar rebound and the dollar starts to push higher. That is usually bullish fuel for the fire that we're already seeing in the equity markets. So this could lead some credence to potentially some more upside when it comes to the overall market. And that's what we're looking for. We had some good swings this week. We had a lot of good day trades this week. Our investments are what's really on fire. We bought some Apple as it just broke out, and it's very much continuing this move. We bought some Apple right at the beginning of the week right here, and we're already up good on that. So investments are really doing well. Swings are doing okay. Day trades are doing okay as well. If the dollar makes this reversal of a move, I think all of that gets a little bit better, day trades won't matter. They'll just do their thing anyway. But for the swing trades and the investments, I think a strong dollar will be absolutely awesome for us. So as always, thank you guys for coming in, tuning in. If you like this kind of format, as opposed to me rambling for a long period of time on every chart that I see out there, definitely make sure you hit a like, subscribe, share with your friends, tell your grandma, all that kind of stuff. I appreciate it. Helps the algos do their things. And until next time, you Yankees, enjoy your extra long weekend. Alcohol and fireworks don't mix, so be careful there. And I will see you guys on Monday.